Hey, this is Mark Beckman with Independent Insurance Consultants. You're used to seeing Blake McCoy sitting here. We decided to change it up a little bit. I'm helping folks with their Medicare and TennCare questions. If you've got Medicare Part A and Part B, if you've got TennCare to go along with that, you most likely qualify for extra benefits at no cost. Please give us a call, 866-691-5571.
Welcome to RaisX.
RaisX has a friendly service with a family environment with that country kick. It's a family owned with delicious food, offering breakfast, lunch, supper all day long, and great steaks, wonderful salmon. Also for that sweet tooth, pies and much more. For the kids, games, daily specials, dine in or carry out. Call 423-569-3354. Call RaisX today.
Riggs Drugs has been a part of Campbell County for generation after generation, serving our friends and neighbors. And now we have redesigned our store to better serve you. It's the same knowledgeable and friendly staff, but a new look and new technology to ensure you get your prescriptions fast. We've always got you covered from prescriptions to all your home health needs. We've always been more than a pharmacy, still offering a huge selection of gifts and decor here at the new and improved Riggs Drugs.
Linda Kilgore, State Farm.
State Farm agent Linda Kilgore is driven to save you money on your home, auto, and life insurance.
Hi, my name is Linda Kilgore. I'm a State Farm agent in Jacksboro, Tennessee. I have 32 years insurance experience. I have been here in Campbell County for about 21 years. We offer auto, homeowners, life, health, banking, and mutual funds. Come by and let us give you a quote. Doesn't cost you anything. We can answer all your questions and choose the coverage that's right for you.
Or see State Farm agent Ann Gwen Love.
If you need rental insurance, stop by and see me at Linda Kilgore State Farm.
For all your insurance needs, see State Farm agent Linda Kilgore in Jacksboro across from Walmart, 423-566-5000, 566-5000.
Razor, Ranger, Sportsman, Ace. If you live for the outdoors, there's a Polaris to match your passion. Confident, comfortable, capable. That's Ace. With a solo cockpit, automotive controls, independent suspension, all-wheel drive, and up to 45 horses of fuel-injected power. Calling it revolutionary would be an understatement. Polaris, the world leader in off-road innovation.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome again to Campbell County Issues. Folks, I'm in my cup runneth over with the stuff to talk about tonight, but first let me tell you about Ron's Golf Cart and Indoor Flea Market. You all know it's located behind Long John Silver's here in La Follette. Well, the UGG boots, he's got UGG boots, he's got golf carts, he's got furniture. I mean, he just got a good array of stuff, and he's a pleasant guy to talk to. So you get down there and check him out. I guarantee you'll find something that you'll like, and most of the time you'll buy. And he's got the North Face jackets for $50, and that's a steal. Also, he got the UGG boots. And you women, he's got the purses. And right now is the time to buy this stuff before Christmas while there's not as much markup on it, and while you can still get them. And at the prices he's letting them go for is just phenomenal compared to others. Also, Tennessee Outdoors in Huntsville. Now, folks, I seen a nice deer the other night on my way home. I'm talking about, he had antlers like this. So he's got all that stuff, and there's a lot of deer in Scott County, folks. I believe it's deer capital of the world anymore, but there's a lot of deer. And he has ammunition, he has bows, he has guns, he's got the things that you need for the outdoor sportsman. He even had John boats. He has, well, you just have to go over and check it out. That's in Huntsville. And if you know where the Roan State Community College is at. It's just before you get there from here. It's on the right. You can't miss it. And he's got the Husqvarna mowers and stuff sitting out front. He's got U-Haul trailers and stuff like that. And also a nice furniture store. And they're just great people. They've been in business over in Scott County now for several years, and they're in a brand new building now, so you can't miss it. And it's really nice, and they're great people. Also, True Value Homes bringing you tonight's show. True Value Homes, located at Highway 63 and 27. Folks, Keith Klothfelder has got a deal for you. You got property, you got a down payment. How many people has got property that's sitting, not doing a thing for you except costing you taxes? Well, it's a down payment for your home now. And how many people? God, I wish that they had this kind of deal whenever I was a kid. And I could have, because I had a house in Knoxville, a brand new home. And I was going to sell it and move back to Scott County. But I was going to have something in place to move back into Scott County. And usually when you have those sales, it's usually at least 3 or 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 6 months, or whatever. But the guy that sold my house, he asked me if he could sell my house. He was part-time and was a manager of Levi Strauss. We went to lunch one day and put the for sale sign in my yard. I paid that $19,600 for that house in 1974. And this was in 1979. Yeah, 1978. Because I had the house 4 years, I believe. So we put the sign in the yard at 11 o'clock at the day, and whenever I got off from work that afternoon, around 5 o'clock, the sign was gone in my yard. And I called the broker and I said, wait, the signs, what's happened? He said, your house is sold. And you've got, I believe it's 7 days to get out, or it might have been 14 days. It wasn't a month to get out. So I had no place to go. I had to get out. I sold my house for double what I paid for it in a 4-year period, and sold the same day. I didn't have no place to go. But see, now, if you did that, you got someplace, if you got a little land, the next day or so, you can be in a home with True Value Homes in Scott County. Keith Klothfelder. The number is 663-8633. Okay, I got several things to talk to you about tonight. And first of all, I want to talk about what happened in your county commission. I mean, if you read the Christian Journal and Ann Hester's column and Jim Slusher's column, it makes you wonder what's going on. Well, I'm just going to read something here from Ann Hester's, and I'm having a hard time seeing tonight for some reason. It says, I'm a lost ball in high weeds. Can't seem to figure out what this county needs. I don't know what went wrong. Guess I'll just have to hide the fear and ignore the jeers, because by golly, I've got almost 3 more years. Now, I don't know whether she's, I basically do, I believe she's talking about the mayor. Then I read the Jim Slusher's column, and he says, missing 8 full-time count employees, commissioners. That's in we talked about this last week about the veterans deal. And because there was a little bit of an outcry, not an extreme outcry, over trying to secure a, maybe $150,000 from the U.S. government, then the county having to put up another $150,000, because you have to match those grants. Some of them were 10% grant, some 20, some 40, some matching. And I believe this was a matching grant for a veteran's home. And the information that I've been able to come up with, only one veteran in Campbell County was homeless. But the people trying to secure that loan was wanting, give us this, give us that, give us this, give us that. Oh, we're going to bring other people from around the county. We'll have 17 homeless people. It's veterans. Well, from them other counties, should they not have to at least present a program to where other counties would have shared in that grant monies for the county and having to pay it? But here's what bothers me the most. Folks, this was a crucial vote. 8 commissioners had told the court they would not be there for that next meeting, and it was last Monday night whenever we sat here and we talked about it on this show for quite a long time. But they said, we won't be there. And it so happened, evidently, according to Mr. Slusher, the 8 that said they wouldn't be there then absolutely meant they would not be a quorum. But these people that did not go to that meeting, evidently all 8 of those people are the people that declared themselves full-time employees. So did those full-time employees strike against the county? Did they not have a responsibility if they were a full-time employee? And if you're afraid to vote on a controversial issue, you have zero business being in the seat. I know I'm a little hard or crazy, but that's the way I feel. You're on the air.
Hey, big guy.
Yes, sir.
You're looking better than I've seen you in a long time.
Well, thank you.
Sound good. You're bouncing around, swinging from the chandelier. You ain't had anything to drink, have you?
No.
Good. It's just good to see you in good health and good cheer.
Well.
Very well. Hey, I want to commend that county commission for voting at that Tuesday meeting. They voted with their feet and they said no to that project.
Well, the thing about it is, they didn't have a quorum. They couldn't vote.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they stay at home, then they voted with their feet.
Oh, okay.
No to that project. They scheduled a vote on that project the next night, and they voted no with their feet. They said no to that project.
Okay, I got you.
They didn't want. Hey, look how stupid that looks. We've been debating for months over not having enough money to run the government.
Right.
And the budget was so tight that we just couldn't cut not even one pencil or pen from any department.
But then,
all of a sudden they got hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars to spend on a 32-unit housing project. Hey, that dog don't hunt.
But the thing bothers me the most, like I said, those people declared themselves full-time employees. They took one and a half cent.
As far as I'm concerned, if they didn't show up, they voted. They cast their vote by staying at the house. Hey, and you know me, my philosophy is no government's better government. So if they stayed at the house, that was good. I wish that everybody would stay home all year. We'll pay them rather than stay home for
Let me ask you this. Don't it make the mayor look, helpless?
no, hey, let me tell you something. The mayor's making himself look helpless.
Well, let
me tell you something about the mayor. The mayor got up and said they had 22 2 homeless veterans in Campbell County. He said he and 2 commissioners, and he named them, went around and counted the homeless veterans, and they came up with 22. Well, one of those commissioners that he named said, whoa, we only found 2. So, you know, when you can't rely on the integrity and honesty of your county mayor, you ain't got no government anyway.
But now,
If they're dishonest and willing to falsify data to the people to get their agenda through, then we got a problem. So I commend those 8 commissioners for staying at the house and killing that program.
well, why didn't they come and vote?
You know, hey, they did vote. They voted, but
No, they didn't.
yeah,
No, they
voted
didn't.
no on that program.
No, they didn't.
That program died for lack of a quorum, and they cast their
But the
vote.
thing about it is, that will not show in the minutes, and history will say it was no quorum. It won't point out the 8 people that didn't show up.
Hey, if you're not being honest, if you're a county mayor and you're not being honest with your commissioners, what recourse have they got but to stay home? These commissioners do not belong to the county mayor. They belong to the people. We elected them. The mayor did not elect them.
That's a fact.
And they belong to us. They don't belong to him. And for him to feed them false information and data, and even name them, 2 of them, in the dissemination of false information, they lose confidence in him and they stay at the house.
Well, I mean,
So he's bringing on his own problem.
but I don't know the 7 that showed up, but in the paper it tells who did not show up, and my thing about it is, evidently these 8 people that didn't not show up was considered themselves as full-time employees. Now, if you're a full-time employee and 8 of them, all of them that's in that category don't show up, don't that send some kind of a statement that, wait a minute, you know?
I think you used a good word earlier. Strike. They struck.
Well,
You know, when workers, the good thing was they didn't even get out and picket.
but,
At least if they'd have gone down there and carried signs, we'd have had Channel 10 and Channel 8 and all those gospel channels up here filming them. The county commission protesting and striking against the county mayor, that'd have been
well,
big news.
I mean, there's no question. They refused to meet that meeting because the mayor called a meeting.
Right.
And they were just basically saying, now, we're not going to come, so why did he call the meeting?
Well, that shows the mayor, through his dishonesty, has lost confidence of his roundtable. That they do not tolerate being given false information.
Okay.
And I'm glad they did it. I really am. I respect Jim Fletcher. He has a great point that if they're going to declare themselves full-time employees, they'll work full-time. But we know how idiotic silly that is.
I don't know how they could consider themselves full-time employees. I would be ashamed to do that.
Well, they declared themselves full-time employees.
But I would be ashamed to.
Obama declared
I'd be ashamed. I would be ashamed to do that if I was representing the county. I mean, you represent the county. They pay. But the thing about it
They
is,
did represent the county by staying at the house, killing that program.
They should have killed. They
Hill Morton orders them to show up.
They should have killed it.
He is not their ruler. He is not their commander. He does not have the authority to order them in their own Tuesday
But
night.
that's not what I'm saying.
I'm glad they stayed at the house.
Okay. Appreciate your call.
Hey, thank you for taking my call, and thank you.
I've got some real doozy for tonight. Okay, we'll get more
wonderful.
of it
Does that mean I can call back?
as many times you want to.
Okay.
Okay,
Ariel, you're a great man, buddy.
thank you. Bye. Yeah, I got a couple controversial issues tonight, but I want more input on this. I'd like to hear from Mr. Henson, because I think that this is one thing that Mr. Henson absolutely, if he is ever going to be involved in any topic or any program, this is the one that I think it should be gotten into. Not necessarily, I mean, I'm not saying that 8 commissioners that declared themselves full-time employees, but every one of them refused to support or even come and pay enough respect toward the mayor. So now have we got something that's absolutely that's saying we've got a busted cord again. I mean, really got a busted cord again. And I mean, I don't know. I'm just might be crazy, but I think that if you're elected, you represent your constituents or the people that voted for you. You're supposed to be there and cast the vote of your conscience or what to support your community, not by staying home. I don't think that's right, because to me, that's a total disrespect for the mayor. Now, how's this mayor going to work whenever if this thing is, he could never have a quorum. He could never have a court. If all 8 of these people decided to not show up every court meeting because we don't like what the mayor's doing or how he's doing it, then you would never have a quorum. You wouldn't have no government. So why don't these 8 people just stay home for the next 3 years? I want to hear from some of you. I mean, I guess, I do look at stuff a little different. Because I feel like it. I know if I had a workforce of 15 people and 8 of them decided not to come to work when they don't want to come to work, because folks, all 8 of those people could not have had something that they just had to do the next day, and the other 7 could come. That's a divided court, absolute divided. And I'd like to hear from you. I just think that there's other people got, maybe if you see it different, if you're a commissioner on that other side, call me. I'll shut up and listen to what you got to say. But I don't see how your court can go forward and really be effective for 3 years. Well, almost 3 years. Because it's totally divided, and I don't know. Well, I'm going to say one other thing, and I'll probably let it go because evidently I don't have enough people interested in talking about it. But I'm going to say one other thing. You're going to have the same thing with this court as you did with William Beer. You're on the air.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Skippy.
Yeah, I'm going to, if you want to talk about it, I'm going to skip my commercials until you're through.
Well, I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I can only speculate. I kind of feel on this aspect the commissioners should have shown up. That was their duty, to show up.
That's exactly what I
And
think.
to vote, either if they were against it, let it be so, let them vote against it. But yet, this would have put this thing to rest. And the way I see it, this thing has not gone to rest yet. It's
No.
hanging out there. And,
All they gotta do is get one of these people here that, to come over to that, the other side, and you're gonna reverse the whole thing.
well, the people who were there to represent this coalition, the county commissioners had plenty of time to do research and ask a lot of good, hard questions about this thing. And any of these commissioners could have made a motion to stay this thing or all sorts of things. They had all sorts of possibilities as how to handle it.
Well, you know, in my way of thinking, and like I say, I think outside the box all the time, and I know that, but I can't help it. But whenever the people that was wanting this grant didn't show up on Monday, it would have been a closed deal. Because you know why they didn't show up? Because they knew they didn't have the vote. And I would speculate, I might be wrong, I would speculate that the mayor was saying, give me one more day, let me see if I can pull one more of these people over to this side, and we can get this passed. Because Mr. Beard pulled that trick several times.
I can't disagree with you because like I say, I'm pessimistic or whatever you want to call it about government, and there's not anything that goes on in government that surprises me anymore. And this is where I'm at a major disadvantage because I've been raised to trust people and to tell it like it is, and that puts me at a major disadvantage. I can't think. I tried to look at everything, but I can't think that way. Maybe I need to go to. There used to be a class that they advertised it and whatever, and it was titled "How to Be an SOB." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it told you how to do all sorts of things.
Well, there's a book it calls Managing by Chaos.
Okay.
And chaos, it just means that you don't keep good records, you always got something going, and so if you're not doing a good job, it's hard to track it.
Okay, now, in order for 8 people to not show or whatever else, and then the aspect that you mentioned there, that hadn't even crossed my mind, like, because I don't think that way, I need to. But these 8 people had to communicate with each other.
Absolutely, they had to break the sunshine law.
Well, they had to communicate, and this is how I feel that most deals are done within local government, whatever. The deal is done before anybody ever goes in there.
Always.
There are certain commissioners in there that are not part of the end thing. I'm sure, I want to say there is still some good people out there. But
They're all probably good people. It's just a matter of who can persuade people more than other people.
Well, I'm trying to figure out how to put it in the word as to how it appears to me that a lot of the politicians make their choices by other things other than how they feel, or in other words, their feelings are dictated by what's to be gained by it.
Well, let me ask you this. As a business person, you basically know who is followers and who's leaders. And the followers once you identify them, they are much easier to persuade the way that you want them to go.
We as human beings, to a large extent, are herd animals, is what we are.
Okay.
And we tend to go in herds. You take a look at such things as that stampede they had the other day that killed 700 and some people.
Right. In Mecca?
Yes, and there's all sorts of things. If, let's say that you've got, like in battle, like in the Civil War and places like that, you let one part of the line break, and it's just like a flood. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You'll have a few stand, and the rest will cut.
Scatter.
And there's things that's hard for me to explain. A lot of it is in my head. I know what I'm trying to say, but I just don't have the vocabulary to put it into words. But there are what you call leaders and followers. I know that for a fact. But to be a leader, it's always been my opinion that you must first know how to follow before you can become a leader.
Well, I think before you become a leader, you got to be able to listen.
Correct. Yeah, you have to be able to hear what he's saying.
Right.
And, well, anyhow, we're getting into all kinds of philosophy here. You're way beyond your break.
Okay.
But anyhow, I think they done, well, I don't think they done their duty by not showing. I think they should have showed, and if they were against it, vote against it.
Right.
And I think also the commissioners, part of them may have not wanted, there may have been other deals made that they were going to have to go against. In other words, they may have not wanted it publicly known as how they stand on it. And it leaves all that indecision or whatever else that's here for the citizens to have to try to figure out. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
You have a good day, sir.
We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Hey, this is Mark with Insurance Consultants. You're used to seeing Blake McCoy sitting here, and I'm up here cutting a new commercial for y'all to look at. I help people have Medicare and TennCare, and if you've got any questions about what you're eligible for, whether you should be getting extra benefits, is your plan changing, or do you even need anything to go with your Medicare? Those are the types of questions I can help you with. Please give me a call at 1-866-691-5571. I'll be glad to give you a call, and as always, we charge nothing for our services. If we can help you in any way, we'll be glad to do it. Y'all have a good day.
Welcome to Razax.
Razax has a friendly service with a family environment with that country kick. It's a family owned with delicious food, offering breakfast, lunch, supper all day long, and great steaks, wonderful salmon. Also, for that sweet tooth, pies and much more. For the kids, games, daily specials, dine in or carry out. Call 423-569-3354. Call Razax today.
Riggs Drugs has been a part of Campbell County for generation after generation, serving our friends and neighbors. And now we have redesigned our store to better serve you. It's the same knowledgeable and friendly staff, but a new look and new technology to ensure you get your prescriptions fast. We've always got you covered from prescriptions to all your home health needs. We've always been more than a pharmacy, still offering a huge selection of gifts and decor. Here at the new and improved Riggs Drugs.
Hi, I'm Linda Kilgore. This is my 35th year with State Farm, my 25th year here in Campbell County. I'm not a high-pressure salesman. I like to just sit down with my customers and help them decide what's right for them. Thank you, and I hope to see you soon.
Mule Pro FXT can't handle. The 2015 Mule Pro FXT. The Mule Pro FXT is engineered to smooth out the most rugged terrain. Over 8.5 inches of suspension travel make uneven surfaces feel a lot less jarring, while a tight 16-foot turning radius combined with electric power steering means easy and effortless cornering on a dime. Engine braking is tuned for a controlled feel when heading downhill, and high-output LED headlights light up the way. Round out this exceptional package with the maximum stopping power of front and rear disc brakes, and there's almost nothing the Mule Pro FXT can't handle. The 2015 Mule Pro FXT.
Okay, folks, Tennessee Outdoors in Huntsville is next to Value Mart. It's part of the same building, but they're actually two different businesses, the two different tax numbers and all that. But I'll tell you this, it's a husband and wife. They just absolutely great people to work with. And if you're going hunting, they've got everything you need when you come to Scott County. you can check it out. Also, Ron's golf carts, folks, he's got the UGG boots, right now. I know last week he had them for $60 because he put them on sale, but they're actually $70. He got, North Face jackets, $50. You can't beat that. And True Value Homes, like I said a while ago, that's just something you ought to check out if you've got any property. If you've always said, I don't have that 10 or 20% down, your land stands for it. Uh-oh. Sorry I missed you. Call me right back. I had to get my sponsors in. Yeah. And I would like to hear from, hear from Mr. Schlesinger and, you're on the air.
Mr. Gibson,
Yes, sir.
I'm the one that owns the property at Del Rio Mobile Home Park where the veterans were slated to build for the veterans.
Okay.
And when the gentleman came to my office to purchase the property, I referred him to Coldwell Bankers, the company that was handling it.
Okay.
And everything seemed to be going fairly well. Then we got to trying to find out who the players was. And when we started trying to find out who the gentleman that was purchasing the property, what part he played. Then on Monday morning, I went to the Veterans Administration and talked to Mr. Walden. And I said, Mr. Walden, I'm very concerned. Red flags is flying everywhere. I said, pull up. I gave him my name on Google, full screen. I said, pull your name up, full screen. I said, pull up this name. The name wouldn't come up. And I called the county mayor's office and told them that there was something, too many red flags, and that something needed to be looked at. And Mr. Walden of the Veterans Administration, he became very concerned. I became very concerned because I'd put $100,000 up of my money to help the veterans. The mayor of La Follette, which is not one of my fans, he was doing everything he could to help. Everything the poor man could. And for the mayor and myself to be condemned to trying to help the veterans, it's wrong. The lady that wrote the article in the Nickel paper, she was very wrong. And that's the reason Campbell County, that we try so hard to help the veterans or anyone else, and then we get condemned for something that we was trying so hard to help to do. But the project is not dead at the present time. We brought in some professional people from the veterans in Knoxville to try to help this. And anyone that tells you there's only one homeless veteran in Campbell County, they're wrong. There's probably more like 30 than there is one. And the people, veterans that they're bringing from Harlan, all back in those woods, to the dialysis center next door to my office, they're desperate for a place to stay to get treatment instead of being on the road for 6 and 7 hours. Thank you, Mr.
Well, hold on just a minute. Let me ask you a question or two, okay?
Yes.
Now, I don't see where she's called any names. I was looking at that. But here's my concern or whatever. And I commend you for saying, okay, there's some red flags here. Really, really. And are these people that's trying to secure this property, are they legit? Evidently, they're not. Whenever they don't show up for the meeting, they're not. so you're saying that you have gone another route to help the homeless veterans, or just help veterans, period? Because, you know, each time that I know, and I've known some veterans, I happen to have a first cousin at which we grew up in the same house, excuse me, from the day he was born until I left home at 21, and whenever I left home, he was 13. And whenever he come out of the Army from Vietnam, he was highly addicted to drugs. So anyway, he had to have some help from the Veterans Administration, or he'd have never made it. So the veterans sent him to Atlanta to dry him out. And you know, whenever they're in those programs, they let these people go out and on work details and stuff like that whenever they get them to a certain point. Well, this so happened, this young man, which I call brother, and folks, you know, I've got 2 or 3 of those people that I call brother, and everybody around Scott County knows that and who they are, and I'm not ashamed to but anyway, and I know that this kid I call brother would not be ashamed now, but whenever he was went to high school, in a freshman, he quit school because, you know why he quit school?
I have no idea.
He didn't want to be called a bastard because he didn't have no daddy that he knowed of, okay? But anyway, he goes into the military and he gets out. He goes in there as a very young man, just as soon as he could get in there. Probably lied about his age, maybe got in at 16 years old, I don't know. But anyway, he goes down there and they send him out in this work, let him work in a halfway house and what have you. And this gentleman liked him so well that he hired him whenever he got out of school. He taught him how to sell. He became a salesman for him, and they worked together. Well, make a long story short, this old man, whenever he got ready to retire, he sold that company for several $1 million, and he gave my brother half of it. Now, he could have been just as homeless as they possibly could be, because but everybody don't have that same opportunity. And to think of what some of these people go through in wars, and if I'd have been in Vietnam whenever all that shooting and the firing is going on and never knowing where I'm going to come home or not, I would have probably said, well, I don't give a damn. I'm going to get wiped out every night if I can. And when they do that, they don't. Some of them come back, they don't get no breaks. And whenever the people come back from Vietnam, they didn't get no breaks. They didn't. Even our elected officials treated them as if they didn't exist. And the people scorned at them because they said they lost the war. Well, they didn't lose the war. Our leaders lost the war, because you can't go fight a war in a foreign country, especially where the woods and stuff is like they are, unless you go out there to kill, to win. And we never, in that whole war, was never in it to win. So there's a lot of those poor people come back here, they don't even know where they're at half the time. And see, I'll be 74 years old. And I was a young man when I went in there. Well, my brother was even a younger man, but he done awful well for himself. Everybody's not that lucky. And so I commend you for going and trying to find out with these people that's making their first pitch to you, that you wanted to find out, were they legit? And evidently, they weren't legit, because they didn't show up on Monday. So I commend you for it.
Mr. Gibson, there's good in everyone. And the mayor, Mr. Morton's a fine Christian man. And everybody is condemning him for trying to step forward and to help the veterans. Everyone is condemning the mayor of La Follette for trying to help the veterans. This project is not dead, because I've worked on it for 5 years with professional people out of the Duncan office, and this project will come together. Instead of people writing bad things
Well-
about La Follette, start saying good things, and the red flags, the gentleman came here to do it. He's not a gentleman because we have researched it. And if you will go on Google and look, there's no such fellow even exists. That's what I told the gentleman at the Veterans Administration. I said, pull him out. He wouldn't come out. But anyway, it's not dead, but everyone needs to look to the good side, and we all pray our heart out that we can do something good for the veterans.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Now, here again, my point is, I mean, I am 100% for the vets. There's no questions about it, because I know that a lot of those people, in fact about it, I'll tell you another story. I got a nephew, is a lifetime soldier. And he served at least 4 terms in Afghanistan. You know, when he come home, in fact about it, he got, and I'll get to you, please, if I miss you, call me back, that whenever he would go to bed at night at his home, in his home, and I'm talking about my sister's son, he put chairs around like this and huddled inside and put a poncho over him. That's how he slept at home. Fact about it, he was put into a program where they sent him out of the service, sent him home, and under doctor's care until they deemed him well to go back in and completely get his full retirement from the United States Army. And folks, until you see some of that stuff, it's like I said, whenever my youngest one there, we'd ride around and talk, and he would, and I was the only one that he'd tell everything. You're on the air.
Hey, real quick, this last caller, I request him just like I did E.L. Morton. E.L. Morton claimed we had 22 homeless vets, and this guy made comments that he thought we had 30. I want them to provide a list of names, and what is it they give them in the military, a serial number?
An MOS.
Since these are homeless vets, they don't have an address, so if we can get their names and serial numbers, that will suffice.
Well, here's one of the
I
things.
want to see a 22 name list from E.L. Morton, because the county commissioner said they only found 2.
Well, here's what did you listen to what the man said? He said there's people in Harlan, Kentucky. So he's not talking about in Campbell County.
Oh, yeah, he said close to 30 in Campbell County.
No, he said that.
No, he made the comment that we have close to 30.
Oh, okay, okay, but I know he puts.
He is not Harlan, okay? Talking about homeless vets that come down here for medical services from Harlan, okay?
But now, what I'm saying is, if it's in Campbell County, you should.
We all want to do everything we can for our veterans.
Right.
Because they have laid their lives on the line. But I want our public servants and people who are looking to spend our tax dollars, that they be accountable and be honest with us. So I want E.L. Morton to step forward that 22 names with their serial numbers, and I want this guy to step forward with his 30 names with the serial numbers.
Okay.
Verify your statements before you get our tax dollars.
I appreciate your call.
I appreciate yours.
It's US 5379075. You're on the air. Yeah, call me right back, because like I said, it's dropping you at a certain level, a time. So I know that. Yeah, there you are. You're on the air.
Well, that man is calling
gentleman that called in. I commend him for trying to help the vets. And people should never say nothing bad about anyone that's trying to help a veteran, because I'm like you, I've seen some pitiful situations, and I commend the mayor of Knight Stanfield for trying to do that, and people should, not condemn them or say nothing bad about them, because, some of them vets, and I know a few that's been through pure hell, like you talking about, and come back all messed up, and I have two boys that, disabled vets that was in that first war, and Bush sent us into, Daddy Bush. And,
Yeah.
I agree with we should never went to Vietnam. I don't think we should never went in Iraq either.
No, we shouldn't have went to Iraq.
I'm like Donald Trump, that's stupid, But I think George Bush was using the shame. He's just a puppet for him, And but you will never hear me say anything bad about anybody trying to help a veteran. And I appreciate that guy that was on there talking about, he donated and all that. If we'd all work together for stuff like that and quit this bickering, we get something done, for veterans.
Well, and like I said, on this full-time employees, which I disagree that they should be full-time employees. I totally disagree with that. If you run, they probably had job, and we don't have full-time elected commissioners in Scott County, Campbell County, anywhere, because our government entity doesn't allow for that. But I've said all along, you'd have a better government if they were full-time employees. And if they're full-time employees, then by golly, whenever the mayor needs them, he should be able to get on the phone and say, I need you in my office today.
Yeah.
Because he is the commander. And you might say that, well, he don't work for the mayor. He might not work for the mayor, but you have a leader. Your leader is your mayor, and that leader should be able to get on the phone any time of the day and get a hold of them. They should be able to come to work, because if they're full-time employees, they need to come to work whenever the mayor comes. And they struck on the mayor. I'd say no question about it. I would basically say it's a conspiracy, because they decided we're not going to be involved in this particular issue.
Yeah.
And decided to not take a stand one way or another.
Yeah.
And I believe if you're an elected official, especially if you consider yourself full-time, you should be able on the wishes of the mayor. Now, can you imagine that a full-time employee, the law, it makes you a full-time employee if you are working 40 hours a week. Because, see, part-time employees, Walmart has part-time employees in most cases, so they don't have to pay their insurance and stuff like that. And these guys might work 5 hours a month, and they're consider themselves full-time employees. Somebody needs to be put in jail for that.
I just watched the Rome County commissioners have a meeting over there. I've watched them several times, and honest to goodness, they get together and it's talk about unity between all of them. I mean, the mayor's right on there on TV, and they do a great job. They brought the government debt down, and in 4 years now, they've brought it down $10 million.
Well, let me tell you this. We had a mayor in Scott County, and a little bitty, as far as population, brought because they actually put on a wheel tax, a $30 wheel tax, brought down our school debt. We had, the Scott County High School until last year had never been paid off. That's right. It opened in 1971, and it was stopped paid off. But he brought our county debt down from $43 million. That's what our county debt was, from 43 down to 36 million in a 4-year period. And they voted him out and voted a man in that doesn't even have a high school education.
And they kept everything else to go along with that, didn't they?
I don't know. it's hard to understand.
They kept the Scott County government going, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Still down, that's the way they've done their own county. And I'm not pointing fingers at none of them or nothing like that, but they work together. You'd be surprised, if you're going to be a commissioner or not be one, you have to stand for something. As the old song goes, you'll fall for anything,
Yeah. Appreciate your call.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to say this about Mr. Slusher. I think he got a point out there, but I think that he missed the whole point. And I think at my caller missed the whole point. The whole point is, if the rules are, if you're a full-time employee, that you work 40 hours a week, and then all over 40 hours a week, in most every case, you get paid overtime, unless you are a salary employee. And I don't know that these people are salary employees. I know they get paid $500 being a commissioner, something, whatever that is, $500 or $600, but they also get paid when they have meetings. So it's not just a fixed, and most salary employees is just a fixed income. So I think that it's, well, I think the whole thing just stinks to high heaven, and I guess the skunk ballet might work okay, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the whole thing. I don't know. I can say a whole lot of things one way or another, but knowing the whole issue, it's impossible for me to know that. I just got opinions, and my opinions is just like anyone else's opinion. They just go as far as you want to push them, and I sit here and I say these things, and I'll keep saying them, because for years, the reason I started this show in Scott County was because I knew without any question or doubt that we had children being molested. We had children that was with incest. We had children with rapists, and nothing is going on, nothing is stopping. And we had even had ministers that was molesting children. No doubt in my mind, none, zero doubt. And nobody would say a thing or do anything about it. Women getting beat all the time. Well, after we started the show, at least we got a women's shelter. We got some other things. There's a lot of things that's happened. Now, there's one thing that, and I'm going to mention this real quick, and I'll take a break. One thing that I've tried to get done here in Campbell County, and I've failed miserably. I can't get a Gator mailbox down at Jacksboro. Can you imagine that? A simple thing as putting a mailbox out to where people can come and drive through and drop them, without old people having to get out, get in the snow and the ice and everything. But our people that's young and working in that post office saying they can't secure a Gator mailbox? Well, that's crazy. It took me 5 years to get the one at Huntsville changed. Everybody else, now I don't know that there's even a post office in Scott County that doesn't have a Gator box. That's where you pull up and put it out the window and put it in the box. And it's and you can't get one at Jacksboro, and it's the worst place to enter and get out of that you ever seen. And all they got to do is put a mailbox over on it, and let people just on the other side of, instead of against there, and pull up and put your mail in and go on. But you got to park and get out and slip and slide, and in the wintertime, it's nuts. I wonder how much one of them costs. We might be able to make up and buy one for them. I'll see you after the break.
Hey, this is Mark Beckman with Independent Insurance Consultants. You're used to seeing Blake McCoy sitting here. We decided to change it up a little bit. I'm helping folks with their Medicare and TennCare questions. If you've got Medicare Part A and Part B, if you've got TennCare to go along with that, you most likely qualify for extra benefits at no cost. Please give us a call, 866-691-5571.
Welcome to Razax.
Razax has a friendly service with a family environment with that country kick. It's a family owned with delicious food, offering breakfast, lunch, supper all day long, and great steaks, wonderful salmon. Also, for that sweet tooth, pies and much more. For the kids, games, daily specials, dine in or carry out. Call 423-569-3354. Call Razax today.
Riggs Drugs has been a part of Campbell County for generation after generation, serving our friends and neighbors. And now we have redesigned our store to better serve you. It's the same knowledgeable and friendly staff, but a new look and new technology to ensure you get your prescriptions fast. We've always got you covered from prescriptions to all your home health needs. We've always been more than a pharmacy, still offering a huge selection of gifts and decor here at the new and improved Riggs Drugs.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Pierce. I may not be Jake from State Farm, but I do wear khakis. I've been here with Linda Kilgore's office for 2 years. I enjoy helping people make a decision regarding their insurance based on their needs and wants. I'm fully licensed. I enjoy selling auto, home, and life insurance. So feel free to come in or call in anytime, and I'll be glad to help you.
Now with a full line of independent rear suspension options, the all-new Foreman Rubicon and Rancher automatic DCT models are equally ready to work and have fun. Part of the growing ATV family from Honda.
We're back up, and what I was saying about the post office, that Gator box, you know, it can't be the U.S. government demanding that or doing that. It has to be your postmaster, one way or another. And I'm not saying if you people want that Gator box, that's the one that's got to pull over like this. They even took the one at Pioneer, or where you could drive up and put it in. Now they put it up against the building, like if that's going to be more secure. It's not going to be more secure. It has to be your postmaster. It's not the U.S. government, because we got them sitting out in the open in Scott County everywhere where you can pull up to them now, finally. But anyway, Ron's Golf Carts and Indoor Flea Market. You got your, I'm telling you, one thing that I would not want to be without, especially now that I'm older and I've had this knee replacement and my wife's got the problems. A golf cart around the place is just unreal. Now I know he's got some golf carts down there that's anywhere from $1,300 to $1,800. That's electric with new batteries. And those batteries, just a new set of batteries for a 48 volt cart is at least $600. So you're talking about something that can last forever. Electric golf cart, you know, you can't go out here and bloom and carry 400 pounds of seeds up and down a hill or whatever, or fertilize, but just your family and hauling around, I mean, they'll go all day long. So get down there and check it out. And also the UGG boots and the North Face jackets, check that out. Also True Value Home over in Scott County, Keith Clothfelder. You know, no matter what I say, you have to see it. and to believe it. And you got property, you got a down payment. And also Tennessee Outdoors. For any of you folks that's coming over to hunt, and there's a lot of people that hunts in Scott County. There's a lot of turkey over there, and there's a lot of deer. I'm not going to tell you how many deer that I've seen in my yard at one time, or how many turkeys I've seen at one time, because you wouldn't believe it. But I keep them run off so people won't be shooting around my house. But down near the creek, about a half a mile away, and during the season, you hear bing, bang, bam all the time. But there's a lot of deer over there, a lot of deer. And my understanding, there's not a lot of acorns or stuff this year. I don't know. But just run on out to Huntsville and get all your supplies that you need from Tennessee Outdoors. And I know that there's just a lot of animals over there. There's elk everywhere. We see them all the time. And I know here in Campbell County you've got the Hatfield fields up there. It's a lot, but now we did have, I don't know why TWRA has evidently tried to move them out or something, because just as you go into the county, Scott County, Campbell County line, over on the left-hand side, now in the winter time, you can see a lot of elk in there, a lot of elk. But I don't know, this year, there's only, I think 5 stamps that give out, so I don't know. But anyway, Tennessee Outdoors. I got another issue and we've been talking about taxes, and we talked about this very strong last night in Scott County, because everybody's always concerned about taxes and how we do taxes. And because it was such a big issue about, okay, we've easily September Labor Day weekend and put the 18th and 19th together, we had easily 40,000 people into Scott County to the concerts. I'm talking about not being conservative in those 2 weekends. Okay, I got a call here. And so we're going to get into that taxes in a minute. You're on the air.
Mr. Gibson.
Yes, ma'am.
I read Mr. Fletcher's column. Do you understand what sarcasm is?
Oh, yeah.
He was being sarcastic.
Okay.
He was being sarcastic because, these people saying that they're full-time employee is ludicrous. He knows that.
But now, wait a minute. They had to declare themselves full-time employees to be able to get $18,000 worth of insurance.
I know that. We all know that's wrong. They're not. They're saying because under Obama. We know that that's a sham. And they're not willing to reverse it. We know that. And to the other gentleman that I'm not criticizing the mayor, and I'm not criticizing, I'm for the veterans. I think they should have a national insurance card. That they should be able to go to any place they want to do and get medical.
Well, wait, bring that up. Let me just share something with you. It just happened last week. This is a temporary medical card. It's the Veterans Choice Card temporary program where as long as I notify the Veterans Administration, I can go to any doctor I want to, as long as there's not a doctor that I can see in the Veterans Administration within 30 days or they're more than 40 miles away from my home.
Well, that's a restriction. They should just have a national medical card where they can go to any hospital, any doctor, and get their medical care taken care of. because they wasted millions, if not billions of dollars on the veterans hospitals they have now, and they're still a mess.
Yeah, this just started this month.
I'm not against anybody trying to help the veterans. What I said in my column was from the very inception, this thing stunk. It wasn't on the level. And if this gentleman that called in had called the mayor and told him all that, was the mayor not allowed to question those people when they presented it the first time?
Well, that's, see, tried to ask that question, and I didn't get it exactly as clear as you, but my question was, you know, how did you get involved, and you took the initiative to call the Veterans Administration and to see that this is stinking to high heaven, but why didn't the mayor do that?
That's right. That's exactly what I said. He could have said, gentlemen, I think before we go on with this presentation, you need to answer a couple of
Yeah,
questions.
why would you even present it to the commission?
That's right, in the first place. See, I mean, and I'm not against that. I'm not against the veterans getting everything they deserve. But we're a county, if we've got 20 or 30 homeless, whatever that criteria is, you mean to tell me that there's not enough places here? They were going to have to pay rent at this thing to start with.
No, now,
Going to build all this facility for these people when we already have existing places that could be rehabbed for them to live in if that was necessary.
but there's a question that's not being asked, or hadn't been asked by no one, and I've been waiting for it to what.
What's the question? Who was involved and who was going to get the money back? Veterans?
No, the question is, who's going to upkeep this veterans
right.
place? Who's going to
That's
take
right.
care of it?
The money's not going to go to the veterans. The veterans going to go to somebody that wants to sell some property, or somebody wants to get in and use the veterans to put the money in their pocket. That's what I saw in it from the very beginning, and that's what I wrote in my column.
Okay.
You want to do something? Because we've got churches here, we've got organizations, and if we've got 20, I mean, there's more in Kentucky, but let's take care of what we have here first. If this was,
I think if you're taking care of them outside the county, then I think the people that send them here should have to foot the bill, not the taxpayers of Campbell County.
let's take care of the people here first, and then if you have something left over, then you can give it to somebody else. But that's all I wrote in my column. There was nothing disparaging
Well,
anybody who tried to put up an effort to help the veterans. It was the people that were trying to help themselves and not the veterans.
but here I do think that you did take a shot at the mayor, because let me just read this for you, or I'm going to sing.
I wrote the column. I know exactly what
Let's let me sing it for
he
you.
knew he should have done something about
It says, I'm a lost ball in the high weeds.
High weeds,
Can't
that's
seem
right.
to figure out what this county needs. I don't know what went wrong. Guess I just have to hide the fear and ignore the jeers, cause by golly, I've got almost 3 more years.
4 years, that's right.
But now what I'm saying is, to me, that's definitely a jab at the mayor.
Absolutely, and he deserves it.
Okay.
Where's the leadership? If he was informed by this gentleman that's trying to sell that property that this thing was not legit, he should have said something.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
he deserved what I wrote, because he is a lost ball in high weeds. That's not leadership.
Well, just before.
How many people knew about this and talked to the mayor about this before he even went down the pike, RL?
It should never been brought to the commission from what I'm hearing.
Everybody lined up to do the construction and do the electrical work and everything. This was known, just like that dump and duff. That went on for months before the presentation got made.
And I'd almost bet, just like this man said, this particular issue is not dead, and I guarantee you that the Duff issue is not dead.
No, they're not. They're only dead if we don't pay attention to when they come around again.
Right.
They're dead if we pay attention. Yes, the mayor, if he knew, if he even smelled there was something wrong, he should have spoken up when that happened, not after the fact. And no, these county commissioners are not full-time employees.
And I don't think they should be treated as full-time employees, but evidently they are with this package they got in their engine. But now, if they're full-time employees, then I believe, and I think Mr. Schlesinger should address this issue. If they're full-time employees, then they do have to report the mayor or the chairman pro temp one.
Mr. was saying it was sarcasm. They're not full-time employees. We all know they're not full-time employees.
Okay.
So he was just being sarcastic, and that's why, because we all know they're not full-time employees. They should have come to the meeting. They should have voted it down because instead of not coming, absolutely, that's what they were supposed to do. But the county mayor, if he got a call from this man who's being disparaging about what I wrote, then the mayor should have spoken up.
Okay.
He should have stopped it in its tracks.
Now, don't be too hard on me next week in your paper, okay?
I'm going to take you out to the barn. Good night, Mr. Gibson.
Good night. Oh, gosh. Boys, next week we'll have a barn burner too. I've got at least one or two of the aldermen from La Follette coming on my show to talk about some issues. And there's a big, and there's something big coming into La Follette on the 10th of October. If you haven't seen it, there's going to be a parade of ATVs. And I don't know what the route will be here in La Follette. I know you won't be allowed to go down Highway 25 East on them unless you get permission from the governor. Because I know we've been through it about a half a dozen times. You're on the air.
Hey, good evening, Mr. Gibson.
Hey, how you doing?
On one of your previous callers there, did I understand the gentleman say that he donated $100,000?
He said he had spent $100,000 to try to make this happen for the veterans. Now,
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that he had donated $100,000 to the veterans.
now he said he had spent. He didn't say he donated anything to anybody. I don't think. Now he may have. We got it on tape here, but I don't think he said that. I really think that he said I have spent $100,000, over $100,000. I believe he said.
Okay. That sometimes it's hard to understand what's being said. Anyhow, let me see. Did he also state that this has been in the works for like about 5 years?
Absolutely, he said that.
Okay. Now, the gentleman that he was dealing with, if he would, the name of whoever this person was, well, let me back and say this. He indicated that he's seen something wrong in this deal.
Yes, he said that the name that the man gave him, whenever it started, he called the Veterans Administration and gave them that name, and it did not pop up anywhere.
Okay, if he would give us that name, and there's got to be a telephone number or something, there's enough information hounds out here that I'll guarantee you that person can be found.
And he should be prosecuted.
Well, I'm sure we can find him if he would call in and give us the name and spell it and the number. I know 2 or 3 people that just love digging stuff.
Now, I'm not that way.
Well, I'm not talking about people. I know some people that do. I don't have the time.
Oh, okay.
There are some people who, if you give them a piece of information, just 1 piece or 2 pieces, they will find out something.
Yeah, I've got a nephew that absolutely, he would rather spend time tracking down your bloodline all the way back to Germany or England or wherever you're from. I never seen anybody. He'll work at it day and night, and it's just, I don't know, this drives me crazy.
Go ahead.
I say it just drives me crazy, because I don't care where my ancestors come from 200 years ago. Do you?
Well, I've been indicated that mine, I probably, well, let me go back and say, some of mine, I cannot find my ancestors back,
I just know that my ancestors come off the river up at Smoky. That's all I need to know.
Well, what I was going to say is, we, the citizens, I've never heard a citizen say anything derogatory as far as the veterans are concerned and helping the veterans. What we're speaking of here on this issue is someone who is using the veterans for their own personal gain.
Right, yeah, and I think those people should be prosecuted.
If they'll put us a name and whatever out there, I know of some people that would really love to dig into it.
Okay, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay. And I said I had an issue tonight that I wanted to talk to y'all about when we first come on. And I like to save it to the last segment. And we're getting very close to that last segment. And I do want input as much as I can get on it, because it's a very controversial issue. Now, last 2 to 3 months, you've been hearing some of the politicians say this and say that. And this week, John Boehner, or whatever is the House Majority Leader, resigned. And he said, some of these things that the people are telling you, and some of my constituents are saying things that they know can't be done. And there's one of them that, because of an issue in Scott County, the county commission is trying to come up with a plan of how to tax on the riders of Brimstone and Trails End, a luxury tax. And one of the things that bothers me so much about that is, I guess, a recreational tax or fund tax or what. We got the Big South Fork in Scott County, like you've got the North Lake. Entertainment tax. And they wanted to, and over there they just want to put it on one thing, the recreational or entertainment tax on the concerts that's being done, because the numbers are staggering. They just absolutely blow your mind. And I bet that there's people right here in Campbell County that was there this past weekend, or not this weekend, but last weekend, because I forget I'm on Monday now. But anyway, and my point is, if you're going to raise taxes on them, then you're going to raise taxes on movie theaters. You're going to have to raise taxes on the boat docks, because it's an entertainment deal. You can't just pick out one, but they're trying to pick out one and sock it to this one thing. Well, I'm for that as long as they do it for everybody and start it out at like 2%. Starting out at 18%, this thing is in its infancy. It's not old. We're talking about 7 years, and we've gone from 200 people in a weekend, 2 weekends in Scott County, to probably over 50,000 people. Now, it's hard to believe. It's really hard to believe. But the man that's running the Brimstone, he's a marketing person. He knows what he's doing. We had people from 38 states and 3 different countries at the last concert, 18th and 19th. So anyway, we get into the taxes. And I started thinking about these people that's making all these promises to us. Especially, now why he's, the ultra-conservative one. Why? See, I can't believe how, anyway, he's saying, and if I'm elected, the first day I'm elected, I will tear up Obamacare. It will know. I will do this and I will do that. And the Constitution, that's what's wrong with our country. The people are not abiding by our Constitution. And there's a lot of people backing him. And why can't I think of his name? Somebody call me and tell me what his name is. He's the first one that declared to running for the presidency. And it's one of those blocks that just happened just now. I had it on my tongue just a few minutes ago. But anyway, I'm going to get so close to the, here, he's going to tell me, you're on the air.
I believe we were talking about Cruz.
Who?
Cruz. You're talking about Cruz?
Cruz, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
He said he lived in Cruz.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, buddy. Okay, Cruz. And I'm going to go and, it's blinking and it's not, well, on hold. I didn't push hold. Anyway, are you in there, honeybee? Go ahead and take a break. We'll after the break, we'll come back and we'll have 30 minutes to discuss this.
Hey, this is Mark with Insurance Consultants. You're used to seeing Blake McCoy sitting here, and I'm up here cutting a new commercial for y'all to look at. I help people with have Medicare and TennCare, and if you've got any questions about what you're eligible for, whether you should be getting extra benefits, is your plan changing, or do you even need anything to go with your Medicare? Those are the types of questions I can help you with. Please give me a call at 1-866-691-5571. I'll be glad to give you a call, and as always, we charge nothing for our services. If we can help you in any way, we'll be glad to do it. Y'all have a good day.
Welcome to Razax.
Razax has a friendly service with a family environment with that country kick. It's a family owned with delicious food, offering breakfast, lunch, supper all day long, and great steaks, wonderful salmon. Also, for that sweet tooth, pies and much more. For the kids, games, daily specials, dine in or carry out. Call 423-569-3354. Call Razax today.
Riggs Drugs has been a part of Campbell County for generation after generation, serving our friends and neighbors. And now we have redesigned our store to better serve you. It's the same knowledgeable and friendly staff, but a new look and new technology to ensure you get your prescriptions fast. We've always got you covered from prescriptions to all your home health needs. We've always been more than a pharmacy, still offering a huge selection of gifts and decor. Here at the new and improved Riggs Drugs.
Hi, I'm Ann Love with Linda Kilgore State Farm Agency. I have worked in the insurance and financial services industry for over 20 years, formerly with the John R.W. Brown Agency. I'm a native Campbell County and enjoy helping people with their insurance needs. Stop by and see me for all your insurance needs.
Razor, Ranger, Sportsman, Ace. If you live for the outdoors, there's a Polaris to match your passion. Confident, comfortable, capable. That's Ace. With a solo cockpit, automotive controls, independent suspension, all-wheel drive, and up to 45 horses of fuel-injected power. Calling it revolutionary would be an understatement. Polaris, the world leader in off-road innovation.
Okay, folks, I'm just going to say about sponsors, and I hope you'll get down and tell them that I do talk about them. And that's Ron's Golf, True Value Homes, and Tennessee Outdoors. And I'm going to get to Mr. Cruz. And you hear him talking about the Constitution. I mean, it's Constitution this, it's Constitution that. Now, I want to make it clear, and I hope you'll listen to me very carefully what I'm fixing to say. I have no problem with the churches being exempt as long as they follow the Constitution. But if they are not following the Constitution, you cannot by law campaign in a church. And I know that about half or more than half of them are campaigning and have campaigned. Their tax exempt status should be stopped. I don't think they should campaign for Democrats or Republicans. And if you do that, there is one church in Knoxville and Chapman Highway that has give up their exempt status, or was last election, to be able to campaign from whoever they wish. You're on the air.
Well, that man that called, he did say that he had $100,000 he was going to give to that veterans home.
No, he just said he had spent.
You look, you check the tape, he said he was going to put $100,000 in it.
I think he already said he done spent $100,000.
No, on telephone calls?
Yes, I thought.
No,
yeah.
no, not on telephone calls.
No, he just said he had spent $100,000 into trying to make this happen.
Yeah, what I'm saying, you know who he is, don't you?
No.
You don't know the man?
I have no idea who he is.
He's Hanford Hatmaker's brother.
Okay. I don't, I had no.
He owns the property where that veterans home was to be built.
Okay.
He runs it on the green string for $25,000. 6 acres. I cannot believe that Mike Stanfield would go along with something like that. And if he's a real estate man, why don't he build this place himself? And they're going to charge rent to the veterans. I don't understand why they don't just, he's got that kind of money, why they don't just, go ahead and build it themselves. And how, you're a businessman, or you used to be.
Right.
How can you have $100,000 in telephone calls?
Well, I don't know that he said 100,000. He just said, I've spent $100,000 trying to make this happen.
Okay, how did they do it?
I don't know.
How could you do it? How could you spend $100,000 of your money?
Good question.
Huh?
That's a good question.
There ain't no way you could. He didn't say it like that. He said he was going to put $100,000 in it. He could call back.
Yeah, that's right. And he could clear it up.
And Mr. Hanson and Jerry Kidd and the other feller, I believe Gary Chapel. Gary Chapel said he knows this fella, and he was a real estate man. He could build that himself. And, they're going to charge $250 to $350 a month for the veterans to live in it. So let him do it himself.
Well, now, if a person's homeless, how are they going to come up with that money?
Well, it was in the paper that that's what they was going to take out of their check.
But most of the people probably, if they had that much money to put into housing, they'd already have that. Because there's a lot of places out here that you could get into for $200 to $300 a month.
And the paper last week or week before.
You can get into La Follette housing for a lot cheaper than that.
We're going to charge the veterans, each one of them, whether they get a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom, it was either $250 or $325 a month that's going to take out of their checks.
Yeah.
So this Mr. Hatmaker is a real estate man, and he runs that property on the green screen on that.
Well, I don't never see the green screen. I don't even.
I'm assuming that it's 6 acres for $25,000. It's the old trailer court park.
I don't even know where that's at.
Hospital. It's right behind the hospital.
Oh, okay.
And I'd like to see how he spent that $100,000. I don't understand. I just can't understand how you spend $100,000 on telephone calls.
I don't know what he spent it on, but that's what he said.
He sure said it.
Appreciate your call.
I can't believe that Mike Stanfield, this is Hanford's brother, I can't believe, Mike, if you're up there, call in.
Okay.
That's today. Mike, call in.
Well, I guarantee you he's watching, but I don't know that he's ever called my show. One time, way back there, he came and
He might call.
I wished he would. Appreciate your call. Thank you. Thank you. But again, back to Cruz's issue. And I know that it's controversial with a lot of people, and they're saying, "Wait, Ariel, you're wanting to get into church business anymore." No, we don't need. I'm not saying to get into church business. I'm saying to get into all of our business. It's all of us. I have to pay taxes, and you know, I pay to get here, and I do a little campaigning here, but I'm not tax exempt. You're on the air.
Yes, Brother Ariel.
Yes, sir.
I called to give you some good news and bad news.
Uh-oh. Give me the bad news first, and then cheer me up with the good news.
No, I'm going to tell you good news first.
Uh-oh.
You know, a dog that's got fleas and everything, and the hair comes off.
Yeah, I seen that in the picture in the paper today. And I want to say this. You know what I've been talking about tonight? And how many people in Campbell County knew what was going on as far as this veterans thing if it hadn't have been for Christian Journal and us talking about it last week? No, you don't hear it on anybody's news. You don't hear it in the other papers. You don't hear. Well, Jerry Chadwell, he'll talk about it on Wednesday night. But you did, and thanks to the paper, at least people know now what went on with this veterans thing so far. And I hope it ain't over. I hope that it does some good, but I hope it's done the right way. And somebody out there is not out there trying to make a bunch of money off the veterans.
Exactly right.
Okay, now what's the good news?
My father-in-law was a veteran, and he signed up in 1996. And you know, the man he was in Jacksboro then. The man told him, "No, we ain't got nothing for you." Signed up 3 times. "No, we ain't got nothing for you." 5 years ago, my son took him down here. But what you know, the man is nice. He said, "Yes, because of World War II, we got something for him." He took him down here to this new fellow, and he signed up.
That's good.
But they going back pay that.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can forget it, except might be 1 year. 1 year, and that's maximum that you'd get.
Well, he didn't get that.
So.
No. Well, the good news I'm going to tell you about the dog. Do you know you can get that vitamin E liquid? And get rid of the fleas? It sure will.
Vitamin E.
Vitamin E liquid.
Okay. And now what's the bad news?
Dollar General store has got it.
Oh, okay.
And the bad news, they give my sister about 3 months to live.
Evelyn or Lodina?
Evelyn.
Oh, man, I hate to hear that. Hate to hear that.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, now she's what? She's 76, 77?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. Well, I sure hate to hear that, buddy.
You know, all we can do is pray. Well,
Right. Appreciate your call.
you know, I'm a changed fella now. I don't put nobody down.
Well, that's
I go to church now.
that's wonderful. That is wonderful, Paul.
I do. I go to church.
And you don't talk that old silly talk no more.
No, I don't.
Oh, good.
I know
I bet you Brad is so proud of that, and
I know I'm crazy in a way, but
I bet he could do backflips. Now, Brian is just about as crazy as you.
Well, Brian's going to church too now.
Oh, is he? That's good. That's good. Appreciate your call, buddy.
All right.
Thank you.
Brother, we'll be a prayer for you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Goodbye. We love you.
I love you too, buddy.
All right.
Bye-bye. Okay, now I'd like to get somebody's opinion. If we're going to let these people talk about the Constitution, and we're going to use it, do you? Is there any of you out there that really believes it's okay to campaign in your church? It's against the law. But do you think it's okay? All I'm saying is, if you're going to run and you're going to tell people you're going to do that, and we're going to abide by the Constitution, then the first thing they're going to take from you is your exempt status in your churches. You're on the air.
Well, I think that politics, by all means, if it's in the church house, they should just shut it down and let them talk. If they're going to have church, have church. Because it's got no place in any church north.
Agree with you 100%.
And I don't think that, I've heard them get up and talk to this and then talk to that. Now, if they want to get up and say they're going to pray for them or something, they'll help lead the country or something, that's different. But get up there and try to promote and try to get people to change their mind or try to vote for them, it's not meant to be, not in a church house.
I agree with you. Appreciate your call.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. You're on the air.
Hey, RL,
Yes.
you wouldn't be giving my Canadian a hard time, would you? He was born in Canada. Cruz?
Yeah, that's what. It was. He actually, and he talked about Obama saying he's born in Kenya. What's the difference between born in Kenya and Canada?
Well, now, let's look at it this way. We've tried a Kenyan/Indonesian Muslim for president, and it ain't worked out.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Try a Canadian. And if he don't work out, we'll try a Mexican. Let's keep trying these people from these different countries until we find one that works.
You know, I think Obama has done a pretty good job. I do. I really do. Let me just tell you.
Does he send you a letter from the White House every week telling you how great he is?
No. But I'll tell you this. He got Osama bin Laden.
He didn't do anything to get him.
Hey, he sat right there in the White House and watched them kill him.
Haven't you seen that film, Zero Dark 30?
Well,
that was a girl that worked for the Secret Service.
Let me tell you something.
Tracked him down.
He said kill him. You know, and they killed him. And let me tell you something. Under George Bush for 7 years, they had no idea where he's at. But I bet you they probably even met with him and had lunch with him.
Well, George Bush was happy he got Saddam Hussein hanged. You know, captured and hanged. He didn't want to do anything after that.
See, the worst thing that happened, I believe the Iraqi war was worse than the Vietnam War, and the Vietnam War was just bad as it gets. But the Iraqi war, you know what? I can't.
No, wait a minute. Bush did exactly what Biden was talking about. You know, Biden said the other day that Germany attacked Pearl Harbor, so we declared war on Germany and sent troops to Europe, right? After they attacked Pearl Harbor. Well, Saudi Arabia attacked New York City and the Pentagon, and who does George W. Bush attack in return? Iraq. Yeah, I don't know, but I thought he went to college. Maybe they don't teach geography at Yale, you know, and he can't tell the difference between Saudi Arabia and Iraq.
Okay, let's get back to the question. What do you think about Cruz talking about doing so much
Yeah,
about.
I'm for the Canadian. Whatever he wants to do is fine with me.
Okay.
Hey, I'll tell you what, this has been real interesting. I was talking to a man this weekend that was pretty knowledgeable, and he still thinks Jeb Bush is going to get the nomination.
And I wouldn't doubt it.
That the money's still behind Jeb Bush, the establishment's behind Jeb Bush, and they just got to let Trump and Carson and Carly and all these people just kind of get wore out.
Well, Carly won't go anywhere. I can tell you that right now. Whenever they start talking about her record with why am I coming up with these and can't remember Hewlett Packard? You know, she bought the other computer company. She is trying to buy all of them, and even she tried to buy Dell. She lost $600 billion to the stakeholders in one swoop. But overall, she lost in the billions for Hewlett Packard. Now, and she says, well, I doubled the size. Yeah, she doubled the size because she bought another or one or two smaller computer companies. Compaq, she bought them. She tried to get Dell.
What do you think about that poll that puts Carson only 1 point behind Trump now? Among the Republicans, Carson is only 1 point behind Trump.
I'm fixing to say something that you, I hope nobody out there is listening, but I would not doubt. I don't think Trump will get the nomination. I don't think
he's going down. You know, he was really. I mean, there for a while he had over 40%. Nobody else was double figures.
Well, did you?
He's done nothing but shoot himself in the foot ever since.
Well, his presentation today. Did you hear his campaign speech today?
No,
in New York. Well, MSNBC televised the whole thing, and he said that any single person making $25,000 or less, if he was elected, would not pay one dime in taxes, income taxes. He said a couple would not spend one dime in taxes if they made less than $50,000. So a household, because you know there is a penalty for a household now. Like if you there's two of you in a house, let's just say one would be $25,000 under, but now it goes up to only $40,000 whenever you're married. So I know the couple, so help me, that got a divorce and lived together till they died so they could pay less income tax.
Oh, I know. The government toys around with this stuff, really messes our society up. But Ted Cruz is in favor of a flat tax, getting rid of the IRS, and I'm in favor of that.
Okay.
Now, the one that I really like, and I've been trying to read up on it, is Mr. Henson. He loaned me a book, Neil Bortz's Fire Tax. It's called FIRE, F-A-I-R. And Mr. Henson knows that tax real well.
Well, I listened to Neil Bortz.
I do not hear any of the candidates talking about that fire tax, and according to Mr. Henson, that'd be the best one out there.
Well, I listen to Neil Bortz a lot, used to, but I don't anymore.
If we can't have a fire tax, I would rather have a flat tax where everybody pays a percentage. You know, that we all participate in the support of our government. And instead of take from the government, everybody should help support the government, even if they only pay $1. You know. But anyway, thank you for taking.
Well, listen, you still haven't answered my question.
But I'm really in favor of Ted Cruz for Canadians.
Well, I've asked you the question. The question is, though, should the churches be able to campaign or talk about?
Yeah, let the churches do anything they want from the pulpit. You know, the Christian Coalition was giving us an awful lot of information, and Bill Clinton used the IRS to shut down the Christian Coalition.
Well, I just don't believe that you should campaign.
Right.
according to law, you can't campaign because that gives them, now I think they, but I think they should have to give up their exempt status. They should be have to give up their exempt status, and then talk about anything they want to. I have no problem with that, but you shouldn't be able to be exempt.
Hey, another thing. I'm really glad you got a call from Manhattan tonight. Haven't heard from her for a while. She's got a great mind and a great bod. I'd love her. So, if we
now, just get off your back.
Okay.
God almighty, that guy's sick. I wished I had Aunt Hester's mind, I'll tell you that. If I could spell and write like she could, I could have been anything I wanted to be, but I never could learn to spell, boy. And my little grandson, he has a hard time with spelling. I hope he's totally take that from me. And he got a hard cast on today where he broke that foot last weekend. So, 18th, or it actually broke it on the 18th. So, anyway, I can't wait to see him tomorrow when he gets home from school. You know, I didn't get no call tonight from my other buddy that down in Jacksboro, and I'm happy to get the call. I'd like to hear from somebody that would challenge my thinking on the exempt tax. Now, I don't care if I really don't, if that's what the people in their church, but I don't think they should be allowed to use the exempt tax. And folks, and just look around you. Look around you. How many people uses the church as a tax shelter? And I don't blame them. It's there. But I believe the churches should have to abide by the rules. And as I told the group in Scott County last night, and I probably told you all before, 7 years ago, it was whenever George Bush was out and Obama, and I was in a church at Knoxville, and they were, actually, the preacher got up and says, we've got to pray, and we had a special guest, we got to pray before they can come on, because we got to pray, because it looks like we're going to have an Obama for president. We got to pray. We got to get this stopped. You're on the air.
How are you tonight, Ariel?
I'm doing good.
I know of one man that bought a church, and they have church there maybe once a month, but the rest of the property he built a business on. So he's getting tax exempt.
Uh-huh.
And it's not right. And I don't think politics belongs in the church. It's there for them to preach the word and to see souls saved and to pray for one another. But it's wrong to use God, because you won't get by with it.
I'll agree with you. And here's another thing. You know, even if I didn't like George Bush, I couldn't stand him, I didn't want him to fail. We got people out there pray every day that Obama will fail because they don't like him or don't like his policies. But if you could just go back and look at so many things that he has accomplished that no one else is able to do, it's mind-boggling. But
I pray for the leaders of our nation every day, for God to lead in the right direction and which decisions to make.
Right.
But there's some that don't believe in God, and they're not going to have nothing to do with it.
Right. Well, I appreciate your call, and my time is gone. I mean, I've got 1 minute, and I've got to get my sponsors, and that's.
Yeah, and I want you to, everybody, to still remember Vaughn Wilson
Digger Wilson.
Digger?
Yeah, he's still in the hospital and he's not doing good at all.
Oh, me, I hate to hear that.
So everybody should keep him in your prayers.
I didn't get to know him until I come over here, and he was one of the people that sponsored my show, and I sure do. I still appreciate it. He helped me get started.
He's a good one.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Folks, don't forget Tennessee Outdoors, True Value Homes, and Dron's Golf Carts and Emporium. And I've just had a good time tonight. I know I might have hurt some people's feelings. Don't mean to do that at all. And I hope you understand. If you're going to campaign on the Constitution, there's too many things that's in there that they won't do. They won't do. They're lying to you. Thank you all, and good night, everybody.